Oh wow.
I'm not recording this.
We go through this. How many of you have used a lawnmower or weed eater, chainsaw, whatever, and when you went to pull on it, pulled out and the rope hung out, stuck out there like this? Anybody do that? Have it hang out like that? You're sitting there, and then you sit there and you pull on it, you're trying to get it to feed back in, right? Or if you pull on it and the actual rope snaps. Okay. There's really two reasons that most people get rid of either their lawnmowers or weed eaters, anything like that. Two main causes that are fixable. First one is carburetors are gummed up. Okay. Second one is this puller string breaks and they don't ever want to fix it. All right. So I'm gonna show you guys how to rebuild this pull stirrer. Okay. So what you need is a 3/8. 3/8 will go right here. 1, 2, and 3. Right? With that, some of these are super tight. If they're tight enough that you can't get them off by twisting, then you might have to grab a ratchet. Right? How or why would this ratchet make it easier?
Get more leverage.
Get more leverage, right? So you can break it loose a lot easier than with the nut driver. Right? So some of us might not have all of the bolts on here. Okay, this one's not because it's broke. Or the threads are stripped. Alright, I just need to get fixed and have it. So mine only has 3. If yours are 2 instead of the 3, if you only have 1, let me know. But if you guys only have 2, it's kind of just how it is. Alright, so take those off. If you guys need the totes or anything like that, not totes, the boxes or anything, they're over there. Okay.
There's some empty ones in the cupboard.
Is there? Okay.
Ton of them.
So before we get real far in here, we have throttle linkage over here. Okay, everybody see that? We have to get that throttle linkage off. It's right here, and then there should be a spring that comes over. All right. Some of us might have a wire as well. But when we go to take this off, you pull off your spring. Mine is not even hooked up, so I had a student that took this apart and then redo it. But once we get that spring dropped off, you can pull the wire off, it just slips out. You have to pull this linkage off. Now try not to bend the linkage, okay? You need to actually move the shroud to get that to pop off. See that? All I did was rotate it 90 degrees and that linkage came right off. Leave it hanging on there, right? So now we have our engine just sitting here, right? So as we look at the back of our shroud, you can see those 2 white fingers. Okay? Some people call them dogs. Okay? Those 2 fingers are opening up inside right here, and they spin the flywheel. Right? That's what creates the electrical induction. Right? So we need to make sure that as you guys are doing this, you know what the process is. Okay? So now we're done with the engine for right now. Excuse me. And now we're going to take apart this pull rope. Alright, so if our rope maybe was just hanging out like this, we got to figure out what the problem is. Alright, so we need to get interior to this pull start. Alright, so we're just going to remove this 5/16 inch nut. It's got, or not nut, it's a bolt. It's got a cover on it. Alright, or cap. But before we do that, we need to pull this rope out. Alright, pull the rope completely. That releases the tension on the spring. At this point in time, you guys may want to use a partner in the classroom, or not in the classroom, but in here. Okay, so I like to pinch it down here. If you're at home working on this by yourself and you didn't have somebody next to you, you might have to take a pair of vice grips and hold that. All right. So now we're going to pull this rope out. You guys probably can't see. Here's the rope. You might have to have somebody help you out. Get to reading. What? On what?
On this computer right here, listen to music.
No. If you have headphones, you can use those. Otherwise, no. Yeah, untie that. Oh, so you want to come up there and do it? Okay. Alright, so he unties it for me. Partner, you can, if you're really good with one hand, you can untie it. Alright. I just didn't want to do it. Alright, so your string is out. Now, if you guys look right down here, by my pointer finger. Hopefully I don't lose it. There's a little post. See that? That really, really hurts if you just let this go. Okay, this has tension. It wants to unwind right now. Okay? Pay attention to where that's at and let it unwind slowly.
Will it cut your finger?
It won't cut your finger, but it really doesn't feel good. I guess it might cut your finger depending on how soft your skin is, but I've been hit by it a couple times. The other day I had a student that I was helping and they were putting the rope back in and I was holding this part and I let it go, so keep tension on the rope, and they just let the rope go and it came through and whacked my thumb really bad. It didn't feel too good. Okay, once it's unwound, now we can take this cap off. Grab our 5/16. These aren't going to be super tight. Alright, so you just take this loose. Now, this has a bushing on it. Okay, so it's not going to feel like it's actually loosening once you get to the tail end. It's going to sit there and feel like it still has tension. Okay, the reason being is it holds that in. See how that bolt is staying in? Okay, the reason that's there is because of this bushing. Okay, and it makes it feel like it's actually not loosening. Right, so just know that. I've had students come up to me before and say, hey, this isn't coming loose. I can't sit here and I've turned for like 5 minutes. Okay, that's why. Okay, so inside here now we have our 2 fingers. Those are pretty easy. All you do is just pull them out. They just sit in there. Okay, pull them out. Keep all your parts together, and then you pull this reel out. And now there's the shroud is completely disassembled. At this point, if this rope was just stuck out, there's a good chance either you broke the spring and needs lubrication, or it's tied up in a knot. Okay, so this is when you have to replace it at home. So for you guys, I want you to disassemble this spring. So you have to tighten it to loosen it, which seems really weird. Okay, but you have to tighten the tension, and then it will pop off of that little hook right there. Okay, you see a hook right here. Let it go slowly. Once you get to this point, you're going to come up to me. Okay, with only 5 of us in here, you guys can hold it up across the room and say, hey, Mr. Stocker, I got mine. And then you're going to put it back together. Alright? So, to put this back together, we hold tight with our finger and thumb. Okay? You'll end up using your other fingers. But you're just going to tighten it like this. Okay? I can tell you that this is the toughest part that you guys will have. Probably. Putting the string in this isn't actually easy either. Once you get it tight enough, put that clip in, let it go slowly so it holds. Some of us might not have a clip, that clip might be broken. If that's the case on your engine, let me know, and I'll show you the other way. Okay? So now, when we go to put this together, we want to make sure that the hook is pointed to the left. Okay? The hook on our spring is pointed to the left. Just like that. See that? Okay, so now we need to make sure that it is hooked on the meaty part, and then we need to see if this spring is close to the center hole. You can see right here where that post slides. It needs to be right next to that, because this hook goes right on that post right down there. See that? Alright, if that doesn't hook, we won't have any tension. Alright, so you have to be careful. I like to hold it up here. I've seen students have it down like this, and they sit here and try this. Okay, I don't know why. You guys can try it. It's whatever's up to you, but I like to hold it here. It doesn't always just pop right on, but when you rotate it, if you rotate it counterclockwise, it should be trying to pull back clockwise. See that? Once you get that tension, if the tension's not there and it just spins counterclockwise, you can pull it back off and retry. Okay, after that, you just put the fingers back on. You always make sure that the fingers are doing the same thing. Okay, like right now, one is closed and one is open. See that? It's not going to work because in the bottom of this cap, it has grooves. You guys see those grooves? Okay, it's got these grooves that make those fingers open, so it won't sit down properly. So you always make sure that they are closed. Push this down, and then you'll tighten it. okay? Which is kind of hard to do when it's standing. You guys will want yours obviously laying down flat. Now this doesn't have to be tight, just snug, okay? Should still always double check before you mess around or change, move on, okay? Make sure it still rotates back when you release it. So now, take your string, try to straighten it out the best you can. I've seen some students get these actually wet, go put them under the sink, and they claim that it holds better. I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't tried it. It's not that hard to just give it a little pull, and it sits pretty straight. So now I'm going to turn it counterclockwise 6 times. So you have to figure out where the string goes through. It goes through right here on this side, right? And it goes through right by my pointer finger on that one. See that little cylinder slot? Okay. So I need to turn it counterclockwise 6 times. Mine's an actual longer rope than your guys', so I have to go 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. That was tight. Take your string, feed it through. You might have to grab needle nose pliers to pull that through. You can have somebody tie it if you need to, or as you can see, I'm just tying it underneath here. Maybe. It's coming undone. Tyler, would you fix that? We want to make sure that there's no more than about 1/2 inch sticking out. Okay, so see how that tail's a little bit long? You want it to be about 1/2 inch. So you would adjust that knot so it's only 1/2 inch sticking out. For time's sake, I'm going to put it in there. Okay, put it in. Now, once you hold onto this rope tight, you can let go here. Now just let it slide slowly. Don't just let this thing fly, because I can tell you that this plastic deal doesn't feel real good to get hit with either. Okay? Or rope burn. Okay? So you're just gonna let it slide slowly. It should sit nice and tight here. Okay? And the only other thing, once you get to this point, you're gonna come over and show me. You're gonna pull on it, and I'm gonna make sure that those white fingers work properly. Okay? Once that works, then we're gonna be golden. Sound good?
Yeah, and that's
And you
what
guys
we're
go ahead
doing
and put this on. Yep.